Hello everybody, welcome once again to Casual Gamer Odds. We're coming to you now for the Italian Grand Prix, the 13th round of our first career season with Torro Roso. Ben Waterworth is the driver's name, Ben Waterworth is your host name right now. And before we get into Monza, we are going to have a look back at what happened in Belgium. Qualified dead last again, but made a fantastic start. Got myself up into 10th place after a battle with Esteban Ocon. Then had a last lap overtake of Lance Stroll. Ended up finishing in 9th place. My 4th consecutive finish and 3rd out of the last 4 races in the points. We're here into Monza and we're just going to change up our engine. We're going to give ourselves a fresh one just so that we can make the use of the power here in Monza. We're going to use, so we've used pretty much all of them. We might save the fresh one for the race and we might fit ourselves here with one. What's our number 7 at? 5% wear. Okay, so we're going to go back to our number 1 engine there. Save the one with no wear on it for the race itself. But for qualifying, we will go for the one with the least amount of wear on it. Obviously, a high-power circuit, so we will do this a little bit there. Now, our history with Monza in the 2 seasons that you would have seen on F1 2016 that we did. Pole position back in our very first season for Sauber, but got taken out on the opening lap by Kimi Räikkönen. And last season, our second season with Sauber, qualified in 6th, but I won the race. I overtook Lewis Hamilton into Parabolica. That was my first win in F1 2016. Career mode, at least that you've seen. I've won races before, but at least on the documented ones. So a scene of good results here for me. Never qualified lower than 6 here, and it's raining, so that could put ourselves into a bit of trouble. We're on the inters as well. We'd much rather the wets. Let's do this. Alright, I feel that my 6 or higher qualifying record is going to be under threat here, but if we've got a dry race, I'll that's why we save that engine unit for that one. Alrighty, Torro Rosso, technically their home Grand Prix in some aspects of the Italian roots. Obviously Austria with the Red Bull side of things. The scene of course, Torro Rosso's only real-life win back in Monza in 2008, Sebastian Vettel's very first Grand Prix win. What a Grand Prix that was. Any long-term fans of Formula 1 to consider that team was Minardi, only 3 previous seasons beforehand, and they won a Grand Prix. Absolutely incredible. But a thoroughly entertaining race and a thoroughly deserved win there by Seb Vettel. Bit of trivia there for you, for some of your F1 buffs. Sebastian Vettel can hold a distinction to something that even Michael Schumacher never did. That's win a Grand Prix for 3 different teams. Schumacher, of course, only ever won Grand Prix for 2 teams. And I'm a Schumacher fan. I'm also a Vettel fan. So, there you go. Anyway, to this qualifying session, last time I ended up talking about Schumacher, I crashed in the wall in Monaco. So let's focus on this. I'm currently in 14th place at the moment. So that 6 or better record is definitely under threat here. As we can hold it together there. They only want me to be in the top 14, so the team would be satisfied with this. I personally wouldn't be. It's going to be my lowest ever qualifying in Monza. Just the power again, not feeling brilliant. I got a bit of a talking to by Jeff, actually, at the beginning of this that you wouldn't have seen. We're not up to the standards of the car yet. It's like, well, give me some more R&D points, dickhead. Anyway, we're going to cross the line. Actually, we're going to sneak up into 8th, if you don't mind.
Good work.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Still a top 10. I'll take that, and hopefully we have a dry race, and that can put us in some good possibility for maybe a podium. Highest qualifying there since Austria. So we'll take that. Alright. I'm pleasantly surprised that I ended up getting as high as I did there. So we'll start 8th for Monza. Let's get to race day. Okay. So come here with some only 85 development points. We've got to get up to about 800, don't we? What do we want for in terms of the reputation level there? Well, Renault and Haas still want us. We want Red Bull to want us. Oh, and looks like we're going to have a wet race. Bugger. Alright. Well, we're due for a wet race. Now, shall we then put it up? We will put in the super powerful and the unused engine, number 4 there. So, even though it's going to be a wet one, we'll still make the use of the power. Brand spanking new. Our last brand new one for the season. So, from now on, all of our engines will have at least been used once, unless we qualify last again and we'll fit in a new one. Alrighty, let's do this. Let's try and get our, that'll be our 5th consecutive race finish. If we can finish here in Monza, points would be very handy. Obviously, we're trying to catch little Sergio Perez in front of us. So let's let's see how we take a gander of this one. Again, very slow on the loading screen. Oh, are we on full wets at least? Alright, we're going to take a look at the qualifying. We fucked that up in Belgium, didn't we? So, it is pole for Hamilton, Portafosi, only second for Vettel. Third should be Raikkonen, will it? Or Bottas? No, Bottas, then Raikkonen. I want Vettel to win this one for the championship. Come on, Ricciardo and Verstappen in their customary 5th and 6th. Massa 7th, there I am in 8th. Perez in 9th. Grosjean in his customary 10th. Hulkenberg 11th. Stroll up in 12th. High qualifying for him. Ocon 13th. Magnussen 14th. Sainz, my teammate, 15th. Palmer 16th. Alonso cannot get higher than 17th. 18th Van Dorn. And the dynamic duo of Verline and Ericsson once again bringing up the rear. Let's get into Monza, folks. Again, Cena, my first race victory in F1 2016 that you've seen me do it. We're on Inters, which is a bit of a bugger. Let's try our very best here, as we are. Go, go, go. It's always a chaotic turn one. At least I'm here on the inside line, which I'm thankful for. But I'm getting overtaken here. A slow start here. I'm going to avoid the grass. And can we make up some of these positions and keep my front wing without going off the circuit here? I've managed to do that. Whoa, I'm being shoved there. I've got someone in the left-hand side of me there. I think it's Bottas. It is. Hamilton's made a fantastic start. And Raikkonen all over the back of his teammate. But we've found our way up into 4th position. I'll take that. I will definitely happily take that. As we obviously try not to slide into the back of a Ferrari. Whoa, can I hold on to this? That was a decent move. And I didn't mean to actually overtake there. I think I just slid past Raikkonen there. And somehow I've managed to sneak up into 3rd position. I'm not confident that I can hold on to it. We've seen this a few times already, that off the start I can get up into a podium position. But I'm yet to do that. I just slid my way past Kimi there, and I thought I was going to go straight into the back of Seb and damage my car, but somehow I've held on to that, and it looks as though Vettel is catching ever so slightly up there to Hamilton, which is what I want personally, because I obviously in real life and in the game would love to see Vettel win the championship. Now Raikkonen surely is going to get a run on me here in Parabolica. The race that I won in F1 2016 was a wet race, and I wasn't thinking that I was going to catch the cars in front of me, and I overtook Hamilton in a wet, soggy Parabolica. So I managed to get slightly on the back here, or at least see them in the distance of Vettel and Hamilton. And I set a purple, I set the fastest last sector of anyone there. Now Raikkonen's going to get a run on me here into turn 1, but if I just hold this line, I'm going to brake a little bit early with the way the car's sliding at the moment. Well, let's see. And that's what's going to happen, because these conditions are very, very tricky. And, yeah, don't want to do that too many times, otherwise a penalty will come my way. And that's the last thing I want, is lose a podium because of a penalty. Kimi is very racy. I kept him behind in Austria. Don't know if I'm going to be able to do that here in Monza, of course. The Tifosi will be cheering him on every step of the way to get 2 Ferraris on the podium. And hopefully Vettel can at least make it a victory. Still got them within sights ahead of me, but I don't think I'm going to catch them. Might put the engine mode up to rich on lap 3. And that might be more of a case of defending from Kimi, because he's got a lot of speed on me right now. He's going to hover it there into the inside. He's going to go around the outside of me there. We bang wheels ever so slightly. I hold on to it just. And we know that Kimi's very aggressive. We saw that in Austria. I'm going to put it up to rich mode right now. Oh, I've not got a lot of fuel in reserve. But we want a podium. And that's actually cost Kimi to go back into the path of Valtteri Bottas. It's a battle of the Finns right now, and we know that generally in real life they've had some coming together in the past. So, wow, they're wheel to wheel heading into the Parabolica. That's good, that keeps them busy. Meanwhile, I can look ahead, and while Kimi defends, I can try and bridge this gap to Vettel and Hamilton. I'm going to brake a little bit earlier, because I don't want to have to cut the chicane again, because I don't want to have to look at a possible penalty. Now it looks as though I have gained a little bit on Vettel again, but we'll see how this pans out. It's the longest I've been in a podium position within F1 2017 at least, and if I again can just keep this up, I am slowly reeling in Seb Vettel, but I'm going to run out of laps, I feel. Particularly for the race win itself, but a second would be even pretty standard, pretty happy is the word I'm trying to find there. As Kimi has dropped well back on the pace. Maybe he damaged the front wing when he tagged me coming up into this section a lap ago, because he is nowhere near me at the moment. It's giving me a bit of breathing room. Meanwhile, I've set the fastest middle sector of the Grand Prix, which is good. Get a nice little turn out of that. How's my fuel going? Oh, might have to duck that down in a minute, because at the moment it's dropped under the half a lap mode. Only 0.46. But again, it's helping me catch up to Vettel here. I don't think he's going to catch Hamilton. Hamilton sets another fastest lap. They talk up the potential of engine failures and everything in this game, as I've set the fastest lap. Wow. It went Hamilton, Vettel, me. And I'm guessing it obviously comes down to the fact I've only got 5 laps on. But so far, no car has failed in this season. We had Grosjean retire a few races ago in Hungary, but that was because he went into a wall. So this would be a perfect time for that to come into the game. Make one of the guys in front of us fail. Make Hamilton fail. I'll take second behind Vettel and be on the podium with 2 Ferrari drivers in Italy. That would be an epic moment. Another fastest first sector there. Looks like I'm on to setting my very first fastest lap, but I just think I'm going to run out of laps here. If this was a, more than a 5-lap race, I might be able to catch them, but I'm very happy here with the pace of this car at the moment. It's feeling good. It's feeling very good in these conditions. And, wow, we're 0.2 of a lap. The brakes are getting a bit yellow as well. Ooh, this is a tough call here. I'm going to see what happens in the final straight in terms of whether or not I switch it back down to standard mode. Because we are catching Vettel. We are catching him, but we are running out of fuel. As I run myself wide there, strategically, I've got enough on Raikkonen. And it might be a case of probably not risking it here, that we don't want to run out of fuel altogether to cost ourselves a podium. Maybe we'll just settle for third here, because I think I've lost a bit of time with that mistake. And we will. Okay. Yeah, we are going to put it back down to standard mode, because we're into the final lap, and we're not going to get within close enough proximity to Sebastian Vettel to take him. So it was a fun little moment while it lasted. It looks as though we will walk away with the fastest lap, which is a lot more than we probably would have expected to. But it looks as though we can possibly, if no mistakes are made on this last lap, get our very first podium for Torro Rosso and our very first podium in F1 2017, which I will gladly take. Gladly. And I'm telling you now, if this wasn't raining, I reckon I could have gotten even further up the grid. But if and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Just hold on to this right now, Ben, and you will make sure you have a Merry Christmas by tasting some Italian champagne on what is, let's be honest, the best podium in Formula 1. Hanging over that main straight in Monza. What a sight that would be to be a Ferrari driver on top of that podium if you won the Grand Prix. And boy, oh boy, I hope Vettel can do that. In only a couple of weeks' time, of course, at the time of recording this. But Lewis Hamilton will extend his lead in the Drivers' Championship in the game at least. And Vettel will have a lot of work to do. But I am on here, folks, for my very first podium in F1 2017. Get excited, because once again it's Italy that delivers for me. It delivered my first victory in F1 2016 career mode that you've watched me do, and it's going to deliver my very first podium here in F1 2017, and this is my very first podium in F1 2017, because the only races you've ever seen me do, you've watched it. I'm going to cross the line. Third position for Torro Rosso. Jeffrey, speak to me.
That was an excellent drive.
Thank you very much. It really was an excellent drive. Podium position. Champagne for Torro Rosso. Let's get excited, folks. We're going to actually watch the podium for once, because I have not seen my ugly mug on a Torro Rosso body get a trophy. Gee, they've really changed that Toto Wolff model in terms of the fact he looks about 10 years younger. He's probably gone to Codemasters and gone, make sure my face look younger. There I am in the background. Yeah, Mercedes, good for you. You win all the bloody time. You like the Hawthorn of Formula 1 in terms of the fact that you celebrate the littlest things. Oh, Romain Grosjean's happy. Look at him, 10th place. Good for you, Romain. Your blurry overalls there. Here we go. Where's the Aussie flag? There it is. I love the addition of the flags there. That's a good thing. One thing I will say about the podiums, I mean, the models are always the same. They always act the same. He'll point to the trophy, really. No, okay, they've changed that slightly. But, I mean, like, Kimi Raikkonen doesn't smile when he's up there. So, you know, make it a little bit more personal to the drivers. And why do they wear their sponsors' hats? They should be wearing a first, second, and third place hat. And make the podiums look a little bit more like they do in real life as well. Anyway, just little complaints, but they'll improve it. There I am. Look at me. Oh, Ben Waterworth. Third position for a Torro Rosso. Shall we take a look at the replay? I think we should. We'll see how... I want to see that move where I slid past the Ferraris accidentally. It's kind of the accidental podium in the fact that I did not mean to overtake Kimi Raikkonen. Bad start off the line there for Vettel. Although they were very racing against Hamilton. Just want to see this opening turn here. Slid through there. Who was it that tagged me? It was Bottas. Oh, just held on to that. In previous seasons, previous modes of F1 games from Codemasters, I want to feel he would have spun me there. They've fixed that slightly. So I'm nowhere near the Ferraris at that point. I've got Bottas all over my asshole. The Ferraris are on each other there. Now, watch this. How do I slide past them? That was an accident. I just lost the brake into the back of it. I held on to it ever so slightly. It's kind of the opposite of what happened in Spain. I didn't hold on to it in Spain, but this time around I did. And that's how you get third position in the Italian Grand Prix. Fantastic. Hamilton wins from Vettel. Third for myself. Raikkonen fourth. Bottas, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Massa all dropped down. Perez in ninth. So I took a good 13 points from Perez. I should overtake him here at that point in the championship if I'm not mistaken. And Grosjean with that final point. So I do. Yes. 8th place for me. Hamilton extends his lead now. 36 points. He's over a win now ahead of Vettel. Raikkonen, Bottas, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Massa. I'm in 8th. Can I catch Massa? I am now, 19 points behind Felipe there. It's a possibility. But I open a 4-point gap over Perez. Hulkenberg in 10th. Of course, my highest ever championship finish is 9th. So I'm in the highest place currently. Constructors, do we move up on Force India? No, we're only 3 points behind them, but catching them. Mercedes take a 21-point advantage over Ferrari, Red Bull, Williams, Force India, Torro, Haas, Renault, McLaren. What an exciting Italian Grand Prix. We've got our first podium. We have now also had 5 consecutive race finishes, which leads us into Singapore and hopefully another consecutive finish. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and everything else in between. We might end up having an invitational race in between here in Singapore. If we do, you will obviously see it here on Casual Gamer Oz. But until then, thank you for your company, and we'll speak to you next time. Good night.